I'll just leave it up to you to end the episode.
All right, Blake's gonna.
We could look up how to spell Summer Boys, and then we could give them like how to type it into the search bar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I don't know how to search for it.
Yeah. No, I'll look it up how to spell it.
Yeah.
Guys, welcome to today's episode. It is February 1st, 2025. It's officially too late to say Happy New Year.
Oh, yeah. It's been too late.
How late is too late? Because I heard people saying that like a week ago.
January
and I was
7th.
Like,
January 7th, according to Larry Edgar David.
Yep.
I'll take it.
I agree with Larry David on that. I definitely heard somebody say it last week, and it just really rubbed me the wrong way.
I think it was like an Amazon package delivery guy, and I was like, thanks, man. And he was like, yeah, Happy New Year. I was like, it is January 25th.
Okay,
what do you mean?
My one counter to this, and it's funny that we're talking about this because I literally was listening to our latest episode on the way here.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing I said was that someone told me Happy New Year on like the 17th or something. My one counter is I said, it was nice to have something to say that was meaningless. Mm-hmm. And it was like different than regular small talk. Just break it up a little bit. And you're not expected to say anything else after Happy New Year. It's just Happy New Year. That's it.
It is a conclusive small talk statement. Yep. It's very concrete.
You're all good after that.
It's kind of just like, yep.
Yep. All right.
All right, then.
Y'all be good.
Hey, Blake, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
A previous guest and a good friend of ours, and then Mr. Tim, a new guest.
What up? Good
Tim
to be
Whitley.
here.
What up?
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. These two right here are the SumWOMer Boys.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're putting the summer back in boys.
That's me just scatting out the theme song a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Dude, I really enjoy getting to share, with people about SumWOMer Boys, and specifically how amazing it was to experience back porch hangs that predecessed the podcast for y'all. I only got to sit in on probably like 1 or 2 or 3 or something like that, but I know that it doesn't necessarily count, but I do think that our hang on that back porch with Will Carlisle when Craig brought the cheeseburgers was actually one of the funnest nights of my life.
It was
I
great.
saw that picture on your Instagram this past week.
Yeah.
So just want to say thank you for existing. Also wanted to give you a little bit of floor here. Like, what does SumWOMer Boys mean? Like, what am I even talking about right now, guys?
Summer Boys, what is it? What are we about, dude? I would say, let's break that down. What do you think when you think summer, man? Good vibes, good times.
Yes.
The sun is shining. The
School's
vitamin
out.
D is flowing through my body. School's out for summer. Maybe I'm taking a vacay.
Stoke is high. Vacation's on, dude. No worries in the head, in the nog, in the dome.
Maybe I got a date.
Maybe you got a date.
Maybe I got a date.
Maybe.
Could have a date.
We got summer there, and then, dude, we're boys.
We are boys.
And that's not like boys, and that isn't like boys as opposed to like boys and girls. It's boys in the most gender neutral, just vibe sense possible.
Yeah. It is pure vibes. And especially now that we can't even say the word gender in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gender neutral.
Yeah. And
Pure based on vibes. Anyone can be a boy, especially a summer boy. And I love saying that. It doesn't matter who you are.
Who you are.
So, and I do want to, I know obviously questions coming up because what month is it now? February, not summer. People are like, well, are you winter boys right now?
No.
And no, dude, because this summer thing that we're discussing, this happiness through the veins, good times, good vibes, that's not a season.
Right.
Like, could you talk about kind of what that is?
So when we say summer, to us, it means Stoke is high vibes, like Tim said, but it's year round.
Yep.
We love summer so much that we won't even acknowledge the existence of it being a season. It just is your life.
Yes.
Wow.
And we like to spread that.
Praise God.
But we also started during COVID when it was summer.
Yes.
And we were just having a good time and started riffing with the idea and just said SumWOMer Boys a lot.
Yep.
And made a podcast if we want the real answer. So.
Yeah, and since this is kind of a joint episode, I would love to welcome back Steve to the SumWOMer Boys podcast.
Yes.
Wow.
And Myers for the first time.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Steve hasn't been on in a long time.
Yeah, it was a while ago. That was years ago that I sat with you. I was wearing the same hat. Honestly, I didn't think about that till right now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was super fun. It was honestly one of the main reasons I it was one of the things that kind of shoved me off the cliff to actually start this thing. Was how much fun I had.
Yeah, I actually remember at the end of the episode that y'all had Steven on, he hinted at the idea that he was going to start a podcast.
Wow.
And I think it came out in like the fall of whatever that year was. Was that 23?
Yeah, because we recorded. I remember it was like October or something. It was like that.
We
vibe.
listened to the episode
on
we
the
did with them on the way
to
to
Austin's
X
bachelor trip.
Yeah.
Shout out Austin and Lucy. I had dinner
And
with
then
them last night.
Yeah, we chatted about. I think I said something to the tune of like, "I'll edit the podcast if you want to do it," and that's kind of how we.
And then we were like, bang, and then we tried to do it on our laptop, and it was an absolute crapshoot.
We tried to use GarageBand. I
Dude,
think.
we had so much trouble figuring out how to actually make it sound good. I mean, we
Dude.
went through a laptop, a single person, like a single mic for both of us, just in the middle, like on that table.
Yeah.
And then we finally were like, let's get some mics and some.
Yeah, let's actually get a
serious
little
stuff.
like.
Yeah. No.
Also, when
what
we
is
were
this
using that single mic, there was a delay in the headphones, so we were always like half a
no.
second behind
That's
in hearing us, and
terrible.
it was so hard to do. Like, do you remember that?
Yeah, we would always like blast the headphone volume
Yeah,
so
so
that you
you
couldn't
wouldn't-
hear the actual voices. It's like if you're playing Warzone with like people
Yeah.
in the room with you, which
Yeah.
is kind of
Exactly.
niche, but we'll go there.
It was delayed. It was terrible.
It was
But-
rough. I always tell people whenever like they're asking about the podcast, I'm like, pick up around episode 20 because
20,
we
yeah.
got new
Yeah.
mics
Yeah.
and it sounds so much
Yeah.
better.
Do y'all have a Roadcaster too, or do y'all do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Roadcaster.
I think
Yeah.
that was how I found the Roadcaster. I think I talked to you about it, Blake.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
It's a great little device.
Yeah,
It,
it's
it actually
fantastic.
makes things unbelievably easier. But it is fascinating to me how you have to buy one, and like it just feels like it should be easy to make a consistent recording of multiple voices. It doesn't seem like you think it's 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah.
GarageBand there should be a free program on a $200 or $2,500 object like a laptop that
Yeah.
can do it. But every single time we try to do it, laptops, shut down. It was like overheating in 5 minutes. It
Yeah.
was crazy.
Well, I just want to say it's been a long time coming, and I'm glad we're finally doing this.
Yeah, it is
Seriously.
crazy because we, from the beginning of Word of Mouth, have talked about doing a collab episode.
Yeah.
and
SumWOMer
it's just
Boys.
now happening
SumWOMer.
over a year later.
Yeah.
That's actually crazy, man. You know what I was thinking about this morning? But yeah, I think it was this morning. It was either yesterday afternoon or this morning. I was thinking about Blake a lot because we're actually Gracie and I are having dinner with him and his Pookie tonight, and I'm just like stoked about it. But it has been actually like a long time now since we all lived in the same city, and it made me really sad.
I know, dude.
Yeah.
It
I
like
know.
I feel like for so long, like honestly, until like kind of this morning, I was like, oh yeah, that was like last year.
Yeah.
And then this morning, I was like, wait, that was 3 years ago now.
I know. I'm going on my 4th year in Atlanta, which is
Or
crazy.
4 years
Whoa.
now. Frick.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
But it feels like literally like, it always feels like, oh, that was like last summer.
I know.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, wow.
Because every time we see each other, it's like nothing. I haven't moved.
Yeah.
You know.
Like it's completely the same. Yeah. I was just like, Dorncog moment happened
Who was I with?
4.5 years ago.
Someone. I have the Dorncog sticker still on my car.
Same.
And
Also say
I
Maddie
don't
took
even-
it off her car.
I forgot who was with me,
SMH
but they
Maddie.
got out of my car. They were riding with me, and they saw Dorncog and laughed so hard. And I was like, "Oh my god, that was so funny." When
Should we
did that.
explain Dorncog?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I know. I remember hearing about Dorncog, but I heard about it
So-
3 years ago, probably.
So I don't even think Steven was there. Were you there for
I
this?
was. Yeah.
Okay. So
We were at Essex.
It
We
was,
were at my
we were
place.
at Essex. It was Blake and Jack. You was Zion there?
Zion is the one who said it.
Zion was the one who said it, and me. Was that all of us?
Yeah.
So we're at Essex at Blake's house. We all go to cookout. We come back. We're eating at Blake's, and there's this kind of running theme between all of us. We hung out so much through college years and like first couple years out of college, and there's this running joke that whenever Jack would try and be like kind of serious and like share something about his life, we would like make fun of him incessantly.
It wasn't on purpose though, or at least it didn't
it was
start
never
that
But
way.
it was also
purpose.
like it was like Jack consistently never picked up on the goofy ball
Yeah.
vibes. Like
Yeah.
it was like anytime we were hanging out and we were like we were giggling, like Jack would just like somehow turn it
Yeah.
like serious, and it was always just like this.
So we're all like
What is this
goofing,
guy doing?
middle of the day, eating lunch, whatever,
At the table, by the way.
at the table.
Yeah.
at
I had
Essex.
imagine I don't even have a table anymore.
Yeah.
That's so nice that I had a table.
Yeah, that was nice. So we're eating, and Jack, I think he had like gone on a date with a girl or was like talking about how something wasn't working out, and he was trying to share that with us. And then Zion just sits up, holds up his corn dog, and says, "Dorncog."
Right in the middle of Jack's like super serious
He's, like,
moment,
talking about, like-
and all of us lost it.
We could not stop saying
So
it.
it's
All
something
of
like,
us lost
I mean,
it.
we are all like goofing, and he just brings up some weird crap like family trauma.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
In the midst of his like
Dumping all this
monologue.
garbage on us.
Like literally think like Scarlett Johansson like marriage story monologue, and he just jumps into this and then Dorncog.
So then we thought it was so funny that
Dorncog.
we literally made stickers for our cars.
Yeah,
that
and
say
honestly, that
Dorncog.
was kind of a very, very early on. Like, you know, the reason that we do this is like just because we get tired of all these everybody having ideas and nobody
never
doing
doing
anything.
anything.
Yeah.
That was like a early on, like, you know, exercising
actually did
that muscle.
something.
We were like, it'd be hilarious. We put Dorncog on a T-shirt, and then we were like, let's freaking actually do it. It was like that.
Yeah.
That like vibe was like
Yeah.
so much in our veins. And Myers made stickers.
Yeah.
and they're
And we
still on our cars.
We all,
to this day.
we all just pitched in money, and then we had like 3 or 4 left over, so we just went and tried to find people who would buy them from us for like $5.
And my friend found one on the ground in Opelika and put it on his car. Do you remember this?
I forgot about
No.
this.
Put it on his car, and I saw it, and I was like, "Where did you get the Dorncog sticker?" And he was like, "I found it on the ground in Opelika."
That
Wait,
I
he
was like,
didn't know the
not
context?
real.
No,
No way.
but
That
I
just
think maybe we
not
actually
real.
could. Maybe
Pure
we could actually
coincidence.
start this. Maybe
We
it
should
would be a funny
make
like.
more.
Yeah, I feel like whenever I pass people on days that I like am not feeling great, you know, like it's like one of those just sad Tuesdays, sad rainy Tuesday.
Yep.
We actually had one of those.
I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, sorry. On the days that I'm a winter boy and not a summer boy, I'll drive and I have on the back of my car a Dorncog sticker, and then my license plate says car, and that's like my code on my license plate. And I'm like, that has to be like a goofy thing for other people to see. Like, you know, they get a nice little like nostril, like that's pretty funny.
A little.
Yeah.
But like on days that I'm like not feeling fun or funny, I'm always just like, I'm such a freaking idiot. Like,
Why did I do this?
I hope no one likes this today.
I'm like a grump in my car.
I hope this is aged poorly.
Steven, do you ever see people taking pictures of your license plate?
I have before, not as often as I thought I would, because I take
u-
pictures of like a lot of them.
Yeah.
The other day I
used to-
saw a
used to
license
see
plate.
people doing that.
The other day I saw a license plate that said TV News.
That's hilarious. There's a Mini Cooper in town that has the license plate podcast.
That's kind of awesome.
Wait,
actually.
so your license plate is like CAR.
It's a 4 instead of an A, but yeah,
That's pretty good. That's close enough.
this car.
I used to have this license plate in Mississippi, and then he got it in Alabama. So for a little while, we both had C4R.
Dude, I
as
need to
our
get it in
license
Georgia.
plates. And
Yeah.
then when I moved here, obviously
Someone had it.
couldn't- Yeah, Steven had it. So now mine says film, which I want to change it, but I don't know what to change it to. Maybe
still
we
like
should,
that.
Maybe we should talk about that.
yeah.
I just I got to go back to taking pictures of stickers on cars because we
Yeah.
basically have a group message just dedicated to that.
Yep.
And I mean, it's been running since we've been friends, probably since Dorncog. We started sending pictures of stickers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I actually just sent one the other day, and I had to remind myself what it was because it was pee pee poo poo with the like Trump MAGA background and stars.
Yeah.
But it was just pee pee poo poo, and I love that. It's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
Man, I feel like podcast is a good one. That's pretty culturally relevant right now.
Podcast is
Podcasts
good.
are.
Yeah.
I think podcasts are really, really, really popular in the grand scheme of things right
Yeah.
now.
Really?
Like, I think I'm curious, similarly to how I feel when I look at stocks that are on the rise. I'm like, when is this going to level off? And
Because there's so many.
I'm also
Yeah.
speaking into a live podcast mic right now. So
Speaking
I'm
as
part
a
of this.
podcaster.
I'm part of this like rise and just so many people doing podcasts for any reason. But also it is kind of crazy to me, like how I mean, we've been doing this for a year. Y'all been doing it for 3 years.
Yeah, going on 4.
3 or 4, like 3 and a
Yeah.
half-ish, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 3 or 4 years, and I feel like more and more and more people. It's just like I don't understand. I don't understand why podcasts are so like popular.
Yeah.
In the sense, like obviously I do because I think they're awesome. I do one. But what do y'all think it is about podcasts?
I don't know, because when we started, we were the first podcast, and like it's been crazy to see it take off.
It is crazy
It was
because
like pre-Joe Rogan.
whenever
right?
we now everybody is like, oh, everybody's making a podcast. No one needs to make another podcast. So we started so long ago
Right.
that no one was saying
Yeah.
that. So
Doesn't
like
apply to
people
you.
were like we were like, yeah, we're making a podcast, and people were like, what's that?
Yeah, that is
That's
true.
crazy.
That is actually true.
And the power of like introducing people to podcasts, I was like, this is humbling. This makes me
That's a
think,
great
like,
weight.
whoa.
it actually
like a
won.
weight.
It won the election last year.
Bearing
so.
that was crazy.
Our podcast did?
No, podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
won the election last year. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sure did. Before we get on that, I did want to throw it back to car tags real quick.
Blake is gonna circle back to one topic before.
Well, yeah, because I thought of this and I have to mention it.
So before we talk about the election, let's just talk about
wait. Not changing topic yet.
Yeah, before we talk about how screwed up America is, can we talk about the fact that I had a mustache on my car in high school?
Whoa.
What?
I did not
What do you
know
mean
that.
you had a mustache on your car?
Have you ever seen one of those cars with a big
Yes.
furry mustache?
In
Yes.
cars, like the
Huge,
film.
big front on the grill, front.
Talking about like Kachiga,
Like-
Kachiga.
Yes.
That
No,
guy?
no.
What were you driving?
It was
that
a
had
handlebar mustache that was furry, big. This
I
is
have
wh- this is
never
when
seen this in my life.
this is when mustaches were like cool, popular.
Yeah, like
hipster
lumberjack.
thing.
hipster
kind of vibe.
lumberjack. I was too late because I lived in Auburn, but it was still like my vibe. But
Yeah,
it was like
sure.
10 years too late, probably. Because we're talking like early 2000s hipsters.
Yeah,
But
they're
it
talking
was-
like Seattle in 2004,
Right.
Auburn in
2016.
2014.
Exactly. Literally exactly. So, but then, so I had that, embarrassing enough. That was on my 2004 Honda Accord. And that was my first car. And then when I got my second car, which was a Mustang, humble brag, my license
B4
plate,
Blake.
my license plate was M Stash
Wow.
to pay tribute
Wait, on your Mustang, you had M Stash to
before I got to
get going?
Stanford. Before I got to Stanford.
And then you
I was
had
gonna-
Blake.
Yeah, then I had
and then you
Blake.
had BL4K3.
Yeah. So I don't have anything now because I feel like I need to pay my dues.
Just being normal.
Being-
Be a
Normal.
normal person.
Yeah.
What are the? Because I've never done it. What are the steps to get like a vanity plate?
When you're getting it renewed, you can get one, and then you just tell them what you want, and if it's available, you can get it. But it's like $50.
I think that you really need one thing that I feel like I'm better suited for going in is I don't think that like you really only can ask for like 2 or 3 before they get like pretty annoyed.
Oh yeah.
So
You gotta
really
have
need
some
to
on deck.
have like 3 like you got to be pretty sure.
I found an app you could use to look up if license plates are registered in Alabama.
Are you for real?
Yeah. VinWiki, the app that I
Oh,
used to post
yeah.
on all the time.
Yeah.
Is that only in Alabama?
No, you could do it in any state.
Oh.
But you can look up the license plate, and if it doesn't populate as like a car or like the VIN number of the car, then it's not registered.
Wait, there's like just a public domain for that? Like everyone can just have access to that?
VinWiki has like a license plate lookup feature built into it, and so I would do that before I went. And then
Dude, I gotta
sometimes-
download that.
Yeah, sometimes like the challenge is
I need
finding the challenge is finding like what's
All
a
night
good
long,
plate,
just like-
you know?
Yeah. That's why I had such good plates.
Gracie really wants to do socks
Socks is
That's
good.
funny.
whenever
I
she
like
goes.
socks.
Socks is funny.
I love the Red Sox.
The Red Sox. I love it. She's between Euro, like the sandwich, like the Greek
Yeah,
wrap.
gyro.
The gyros.
Yeah. And socks. Those are
Socks
her
is
two
funny.
things.
I just was in Dothan last weekend, and my step aunt, she's like a anesthesiologist. Her license plate was, I think, correct me if I'm wrong if you know what the word is. Whenever you're waking someone up out of anesthesia, I think it's called like extrabate or something.
Sure.
Sure.
Her
I don't think you're allowed to
license,
say that on a license plate.
her license plate was like extrabate or something, or
That's funny.
extra.
They
There's
have
something bait.
anesthesiologists in Dothan.
Hey man, apparently so.
For
Apparently
the
so.
one surgery they have per year down there.
There are 2 license plates in my apartment complex. One says MD PhD and the other one says DR. Which I'm like, why would a doctor why would two doctors live where I live? You know
Oh,
what I mean?
I saw one with Elena, and it was on. I think it was on like an old Corvette, and like not an old, like a mid 2000s Corvette, and it was a woman. Oh, the middle-aged woman driving, and the license plate was Lisa's toy.
Amen.
Dude, I'm not even lying. That is straight up my neighbor.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Lisa's toy?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Am I correct
Miata?
in Lisa?
Yes.
I was trying to remember.
Literally, my neighbor Lisa on her car has that.
Is it a
tag.
Corvette?
Yes.
Are you serious?
That's crazy,
What on
actually.
earth?
It was in Highland Park, so it was pretty close.
I'm not
to
trying to like call out my neighbor. Like I feel like I'm giving
just
out my
doxed
giving
yourself?
I'm doxing myself right now.
you. But
I live
Elena
at
and I-
1, 2, 3, 4.
Elena and I laughed really hard because we were like, "Does she know the innuendo with Lisa's toy?"
Definitely not.
Yep.
Definitely
Zoinks.
not.
But honestly, I don't know, man. She's let's just say she's
Peculiar.
Lisa has
peculiar.
fun.
If she was yeah, she's probably
Well, she has at least one toy.
yeah, she yeah. I got an interesting from another. I don't know if I should talk about this on the podcast. I got a very interesting text from another neighbor during the holidays. She texted me, will you get my packages for me? I've got some gadgets coming in the mail. Smirky face.
Gadgets.
Oh, don't gadget and smirk.
Gadgets,
That is a good.
smirk.
That is a good rule of life. Don't gadget.
This is a
and
public
smirk.
domain. She
Inspector
definitely could listen to this one day, so I don't really know if I want to
I
take this
doubt
very
it,
much.
but we'll see.
There's absolutely no
Did
way.
you pick up her packages?
No, I was like, me and my wife are out of town. I'm so sorry. Sent a picture of great. No, I'm joking.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy.
Huh.
Yeah, it was also I've
Weird way to flirt.
strange.
I've got gadgets coming. I hope you enjoy.
Big. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. But okay, I'm also curious about this whole thing. I'm thinking about you and Elena. She lives in Highland Park, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get to do the thing where you live in kind of the Highland Park of Atlanta,
Yeah.
the Virginia Highland.
Yes.
And you get to, come into Birmingham a lot too. So we're definitely going to jump. We're going to jump, from license plates over election into this topic right now.
Great.
Okay.
I love that.
Good
job.
leap. Good leap.
So I'm so curious, and like comparing the two cities. Like obviously they're not, or I guess more so just like contrasting the two cities. You literally are in Birmingham, probably more than most Atlanteans.
Yeah.
And you get to experience like actual life in Birmingham. You're not just like, I feel like when Sully and Zion come, they have a concert
Yeah.
and they do like the coolest stuff and they leave. But you do like normal Birmingham stuff and then you go to Atlanta, you do normal Atlanta stuff. What has that been like leaving and coming back and then, or I guess like leaving Birmingham, like you used to live here and then now you're coming back a lot now that you've been dating Elena?
It at first, like, it's changed a lot, and
Yeah.
it's changed my perspective on Birmingham a lot, because when we first started dating, I hadn't lived in Birmingham for
A few years.
2.5, 3 years.
Yeah.
So when I did come back, it was very few and far between and extremely nostalgic. I would miss you guys so much, and I still miss you guys, but like it was
Sure.
like, oh my God, like I'm seeing you for the first time in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And Tim, same for you. Like we would usually record, and honestly, that was usually the reason I was coming to Birmingham, is to record Summer Boys.
That's how we got him back.
Yeah. So everything was super nostalgic. I was also like, oh my God, Sanford seems so close in time. But these days, it's shifted to like, okay, now I think of Birmingham as like Elena and I and like what we do. So like way more Pepper Place, just like way more like cool Birmingham things that I never really did. Like I went to, bars and stuff, and I went to Pepper Place, but I was still a student.
Yeah.
And I never lived in Birmingham, not as a student, really. Like,
You didn't go to Pepper Place. I went to Pepper Place, and they said they didn't know you at all.
Dude, I went
I mean, I
every
only went, like,
weekend and I
twice.
never saw you.
Vendor by vendor.
have you seen this man? Have you seen
Have you ever
this
seen
guy?
this guy?
I've never
This guy
heard of
right
you.
here. Have you seen him?
So anyway, you went for the first time with Elena.
Yeah.
First time ever at Pepper Place.
So it's cool. And also, like, I mean, the two cities are really, really different.
Yeah.
Like Atlanta and Birmingham. Like Birmingham, I've said this like since moving to Atlanta. when I lived in Opelika, Birmingham was the big city. When I moved to Birmingham, Atlanta was the big city. So like now coming back to Birmingham feels like Opelika.
Wait, so what's the big city now?
New York.
New York.
New York.
I'm from Queens.
It's got to be New York. I mean, there are bigger cities like Houston, but I don't think about
That doesn't
Houston.
count.
Who thinks about Houston?
Everybody
Nobody.
says Houston's bigger.
Sorry,
I don't think
Elena. Elena's from Houston,
So. Houston, you're not actually that much bigger.
population-wise. But anyway, so Birmingham feels very, very nice and slow and chill and small. Like you can literally get anywhere in 20 minutes, no matter where you are in Birmingham.
Yeah.
It's the best.
You cannot do that in Atlanta. Even where I live in basically just a huge neighborhood, and like there are things I can drive to very quickly that are in that neighborhood, but past the neighborhood, it's like it's going to be at least 20 to 30 minutes, no matter what.
Yeah.
In traffic. And I don't want to talk about Atlanta traffic. That's boring, but it's just totally different vibes of cities. But I love both. I have nothing but love in my heart for Beham.
Let's go.
Yeah.
One of the funny things about so we went to New York in December.
Yeah.
And New York is hustle bustle, busy. And one of the funny things I found coming back from that was Birmingham felt slow, like you're saying.
Yep.
But it was funny because that was a vacation where it was like a go adventure vacation. And a lot of times people try and go on vacation to like slow down and do the slow thing.
Yeah.
But I actually found that I liked life at home more after doing the go adventure vacation because life at home felt slow and restful. That was kind of interesting.
That's so nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is super true. I think we did like kind of the opposite of vacation or vacating, like I think it's so interesting whenever you go to the beach or something like that and you just like chill the entire time. Like that's one of the best parts about the beach is like the beach is the only thing to do there.
Yep.
And when you're at the beach, you literally just do nothing.
Just
You
do beach,
you
baby.
just sit down. Like literally, that's all. You go to the beach, you freaking dripping sweat, carrying all this crap. You get there, all you do, just sit down. When you're in New York, it's like we walked 54 miles and we were there for 5 days.
Yeah.
Like that crap's crazy. You're just constantly seeing stuff always. And I think coming back to Birmingham was like it was like an odd experience flying back. Or wait, I guess we flew back into Atlanta and then drove over. So yeah, it was like so weird. Even coming back into Atlanta where everybody drives. Like that was or like everybody drives in New York too, but the city's not set up for roads or anything like that.
Right.
So it was strange getting back into Atlanta and there was like, there's like 1,000 people around me on an interstate, but you never experience that whenever you're in New York. So, but yeah, that is wild though. Birmingham being so quiet in comparison to Atlanta has got to be like a crazy experience. Like, what is that like living in Atlanta doing that?
It's like I feel like it's like any city where you find your pocket, and like Virginia Highlands is where I live. So if I stay around that area, I'm absolutely chilling. The moment I have to like especially get on the interstate, then I'm like, okay, I do hate Atlanta. Like I get why people hate Atlanta.
Yeah.
But like if you're not using the interstate and like you live there and you're chilling in your zone and like you're doing your daily routine, it's awesome. Like it's great.
Yeah.
It just feels like a big neighborhood and like my friends all live close, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But
what is the community aspect of that with like having so many young people, like, or I guess like so many postgrads? Because I feel like in Birmingham, one of the things that we kind of interact with a lot is a lot of us people, like, like literally the three of us right here, we're all married. And I feel like married people's lives are, you pretty much, you're not really like doing the same thing as the people that are not married.
Yeah.
And I feel like community here is like so much different because of that. Like there's not many people that are just like young postgrads that are single
people,
just like hanging out or anything like that.
Yeah.
Is that
larger population of that in Atlanta?
Yeah. What is that like?
I mean, a lot of my friends in Atlanta are still married, but they like hanging out too.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I mean, nightlife is good. Like there's, plenty of great bars to go to and hang out and stuff. But yeah, it's just a different vibe.
Tim, what keeps you here?
Emma's starting nurse practitioner school.
That'll do it.
Here. Got a good job right now, liking it. but I do think in like 2.5 years, whenever Emma is done with NP school, we might get somewhere back on the East Coast potentially.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's like
I had heard rumblings from talking to you through the years that y'all had thought about like one of the Carolinas or something.
yeah,
right?
right now I would say if I laid out a top 3, it'd be like Wilmington, Charleston, or throw in Florida in there, maybe like a Jacksonville, just get in a big city, but have the beach right there. So we will see. But basically, like, really school and stuff has kind of kept us around thus far. But
Yeah.
we'll see, man. I want to get back to surfing before work if I want to, and kind of just being by the beach and having beach to do, as you mentioned. So that would be nice.
Having beach to do is great. I want to ask you, Tim. You moved to like Hoover.
We did. We moved from technically like Birmingham or Vestavia to Hoover. We moved 0.4 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you still like go out and experience Birmingham as much as you can, or like how has that changed anything? What's that been like living up there?
There's still new spots like downtown we'll go to and be like, I never really got here. Honestly, whenever my work, like our office used to be at the Summit and then we moved downtown. We're in like the Shipped building now. Not to dox myself.
Whoa! He works for Shipped.
But I don't work for Shipped. But
Thank God.
Yeah, thank
Nobody does.
goodness, man.
Jack did.
Jack did.
Yeah, they. Well,
But anyway, that like little section of downtown around there I hadn't really seen before. So like experiencing that more the past like year and a half ish has been cool.
I forgot that you work downtown. That helps. a
Yeah,
lot.
there's still new stuff, but also like we're in like Bluff Park area. We're right by the interstate. We can get down. Like I can get to work in like 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's like it's very close still because Birmingham's
Yeah.
very small. Like honestly, if it takes me longer than 15 minutes to get somewhere in Birmingham, I'm a little bit upset.
Yeah.
The only place that I go beyond 15 minutes is my office, and it takes me about 17 minutes to get to Gardendale.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah.
I do think that it is actually crazy in Birmingham. Like I was talking to Austin last night. Austin Eck and Lucy like bought a house in Crestwood, and they were between Crestwood, Irondale, and Bluff Park. I think were the 3 places that they could like actually afford a starter home, which is like pretty much every single person in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And anyways, they were talking about how one of the main reasons they stayed over here instead of doing Bluff Park was because they were like, the odds of people doing something as soon as you jump over the 10-minute drive mark in Birmingham is so low.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And they were like, if we move to Bluff Park, all of our people over here in like, Canterbury Gardens, Mount Brook, and then also like anywhere in like Crestwood area, like no one, like going over there, like Cole Edens is one of my like really good buddies, and he lives up there again, Bluff Park. To dox Cole Edens real quick.
We're doxing everyone today.
Yeah, like genuinely sometimes he'll be like, yo, like we'll be like, hey, what do you want to do tonight? And he'll be like, you just want to come over and hang? I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, dude, when I lived
25
here and
minutes.
Zion and Jack lived in Irondale, and you,
yeah.
I mean,
That
it
drive
was
sucked.
a chore.
Yeah.
Granted, that drive specifically did suck, but it
Yeah.
was also only like 20 minutes. But I was like, dang, I really have to drive 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That
And
was
it
the
was like we were
worst.
going over there every time. Like
That
no
was
one-
the worst drive because you have to take Lakeshore all the way.
Yeah.
And then like wind your
Montclair.
way through neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Just to get back there.
But I was just like, yeah, because all 3 of y'all up there, we weren't gonna make y'all all 3 come to like one of our places.
yeah.
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 Yeah,
you
did
didn't
that.
want to come to my place and hang out with Mac Brown while he plays NFL.
It wasn't really.
too.
It was the other guy. What was that guy's name? Micah.
I got my fill of Mac Brown when I lived with him. Sorry, Mac Brown, if you listen to either of these podcasts.
Brown is getting destroyed.
Good Lord.
I anticipate him not listening to this.
Well, if he does, he can reach out on Instagram and I'll apologize.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I will openly make fun of him, and if he wants me to apologize, I will.
Sorry, Mac Brown, if you're listening, dude.
Dude, Tim. So, did you actually do that? But like, whenever you were growing up, did you actually go surf in the morning, like before school?
When I could drive occasionally, like if the waves were
Dude,
looking right.
I spent some time in Hawaii this summer. Flex.
Wow, humble
humble
brag.
Whenever I was there, I like obviously jet lag is like opposite there, so I woke up at like freaking 4 a.m. or something, and the sun was already up I don't know why the sun comes up so early in Hawaii, but it does. And anyways,
because of the way the
freaking Earth
centrifugal
is
force.
Well, it's actually because of the axis of the Earth and the way it rotates around the sun.
The freaking
You're
revolution.
getting pretty close to the edge out there, you know. It's
right
flat,
toward the
so
edge of
it's-
the
You get pretty
Earth.
close to the end. You get pretty close to the sun. Sun's pretty small. It's not actually that far away. We're not rotating around it. Anyways,
It's a disc in space.
So I went out there and literally where we only stayed in a hotel for like 2 nights, and we were on like a cruise ship for the other nights. We went around all nights. But anyways, that morning we were at Waikiki Beach, which is like is like, you know, legendary surf place, and there's a public parking lot there, which is why it's so like popular, because it's really hard to park places in Hawaii near surf breaks. Anyways, so there was like, it was like 4 a.m. and there was like hundreds of dudes out there.
Yeah.
And it was like, I also just thought it was fascinating too. This is why I brought this up. How they would just chill forever, like 20 minutes, and then out of nowhere, 20 minutes, it'd be like 15 waves in a row, and then it was like nothing, chilling for like 20 minutes. But anyways, I was curious about this. Is it like a workout? Like when you finish, because a lot of the dudes were absolutely yoked, and you are yoked.
Oh, thank you.
And so you're welcome.
In case you didn't know.
And I was like surfing, like, no hate. It doesn't look like you're getting abs by doing it. It looks pretty chill, except for like the dudes who are like doing the huge cuts or whatever. But what is that like? Is it like, is it comparable to any other type of exercise?
It's like very, especially surfing like beach break, like East Coast, like decent sized day. It's just like very intense cardio. Like you're paddling for most of it.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
And if you're seeing folks out in the water, like I want to say Waikiki, I'm not as familiar with some of the Hawaii spots, but Waikiki, I think you have to paddle out pretty far.
Oh yeah.
So it's like your shoulders just feel like death. Like a lot of the time, if you're on waves that have like really long rides, your legs are going to be dying too.
Sure.
But just like your shoulders feel terrible. So it's like,
Yeah, it's hard.
swimming basically. Like I feel like if people talk about like getting ready for like surf trips or like going somewhere where they're going to like try surfing and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do I do to get in shape? Like, should I like take up skating and stuff? I'm like, dude, you should just swim laps.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be standing not that often.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the cardio is intense, and like you're getting in the right spot. Just like if you're in a crowded break too, I feel like you get some like adrenaline going.
Yeah.
So your heart rate is high out there.
Yeah, that was wild too. Like the huge crowds of people, like dudes would actually get up, get on the wave, and then they have to like fall off. And there would only be like 2 guys that really got to go at a time. But like I said, there's like 100 dudes.
Yeah,
Very
It's a
cool
biker
guys.
game.
the loudest motorcycle in the world.
It's so hard though. I mean, I tried for the first time surfing like a few years ago when you took me home, and I met your parents for the first time. No, but like I was probably out there for 30 minutes, and granted the waves weren't good, so that's mainly why we came in. But I was also like shot after.
Really?
'Cause I mean, I don't swim that much anyway, and I hate swimming. I love being on top of water and doing on top of water things, but I hate actually swimming.
Yeah.
And basically, it was just swimming the whole time on top of a board. But like, yeah, your arms are dead, your body is dead. And then also, like, I stood up at the wrong time, and the board was behind me, and a wave hit, and then the board hit me in the back, and that hurt really bad.
Ouch.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know what it like I don't know what surfing on the East Coast is like, but it definitely feels like it would be a lot less aesthetic as what was going on in Hawaii.
Yeah, it's after a hurricane, like like the wind all cleans up, and like everything's actually like clean the couple days after. It's really pretty. It's like picturesque. It's nice.
Really?
It looks like you wouldn't believe you're like in Florida.
Yeah.
But the average day when there's not a big storm, it's not like.
Yeah, I only watched people surf. I lived in Panama City Beach for one summer, and I watched people surf like one time. Mm-hmm. Or it was like 1 week. Everybody was surfing. And it was because there was a tropical storm. I think it was on its way. It was about to hit. And there was like 3 or 4 days that the waves were freaking huge. Mm-hmm. But it was like if you didn't like get the wave, like if you didn't like, you know, whatever. Is there like a slang for that? Like when you if you don't catch the wave.
If you don't catch the wave, yeah.
The water just like sucks you down to the floor of the whirlpool. And it's like, obviously like the sand isn't used to that much like water coming up off it, so the water like wasn't clear or anything. But that's like my mental image of like surfing on the East Coast. But I imagine like there's probably places like on the actual East Coast, not in the Gulf, that are beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's like messier than Hawaii because you don't know quite where like the wave is breaking.
Yeah.
It's not breaking on like a super organized reef. And like you can't paddle around anything. Like there's no like canalish kind of deal. You can like paddle out easy. You have to go like through and under a bunch of waves.
Yeah.
So if it's a big day, that just sucks.
That's gotta be crazy though. I mean, like I feel like for me, I grew up, my favorite thing to do growing up was like in high school was like golf and soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And I can play, those things pretty easily as an adult here. But your like favorite things to do at the end of high school is like surfing. And that's like obviously such a niche thing and it's like a skill set or whatever. And you just don't have access to that when you move into the city.
Yeah, it's weird because high school I did like football and basketball too, but just like you're not really doing, you might play like pickup basketball, but like football and surfing, you're not just gonna like go do. So yeah, definitely
Men's
like
league football.
Yeah.
Would be kind of crazy actually.
Yeah.
Myers is going to the bathroom.
But but no, leaving the coast, like I think because I grew up there, I was like, yeah, I won't like have the beach there anymore, but I didn't like I knew it in my head, but not my heart, so to speak.
Sure.
So then I got here and I was like, oh, what are my hobbies? Like, what do I do? I got into some of Birmingham does have good nature stuff. You can like, it's not going to be like the best hiking in the United States of America or anything, but you can like get out there and have some fun.
And we started longboarding a lot.
Yeah, started longboarding, skating.
That's how we really started being friends.
Yeah, that's how we became friends. We hated each other before.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. How did y'all meet?
That is an incredible story.
That actually is a hilarious story. Yeah.
Take it away.
So there was like a game of Assassin going on at Samford, like with the freshmen. And
do you know what that is?
I'll
I'll explain.
Okay.
Basically, you sign up for this game and you are given a target and you have to have a Nerf gun.
Yeah.
And it's campus wide, so like anyone can join. And you are a freshman, so you don't know anyone.
Yeah.
So you get this name, and then you have to like find them. And like if you shoot them with the Nerf gun, they're out, and you get a new target. You get their target.
No way.
Yeah. So
was this like a Sanford organized thing?
It was like our
or your hall or something?
I don't know who organized it, but it was like the whole freshman class, like our year, basically.
Yeah. What's the housing people?
Res Life.
Res Life. Yeah.
That's actually
they did
pretty
it.
sick.
It was awesome.
I literally never heard of it.
It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got Tim's name.
No.
Oh.
It goes deeper.
It goes
Okay.
deep. This is actually like one of my favorite things in my whole life.
So we got I actually like didn't sign up for it in time. Chris, my freshman year roommate, good friend now, is
Shout out.
He was in it. I wasn't in it. He got out at some point. I don't know. It came
Myers
down
is back
to
from the bathroom.
it. It came down to Blake and one other guy.
Wait, could I maybe like stop this episode and we hear part 2 of this story on SumWOMer Boys?
Oh,
That's actually very good timing. I would love to do that.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
I was like, man, I'm
Cliffhanger.
really, really dialed in right now. Guys, thank you so
Cliffhanger.
much for listening today to our episode. The greatest part about doing collaboration with SumWOMer Boys is you get exposed to them as well. So even more so, we're going to make you actually boots on ground go over to their thing, which is linked just in the description right beneath this video. It'll be super easy. Jump over to their account. You're going to see part 2 of this episode there.
Can't wait to see you over at SumWOMer Boys.
I wonder what's going to happen.
I have no idea.